Back in action. Well, our next reading is from the book of 1 Thessalonians. It's about the coming of the Lord. Brothers, we do not want you to be ignorant about those who fall asleep in death, or to grieve like the rest of people who have no hope. We believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's own word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left till the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command and with the voice of the archangel and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. On the Christian... All right. Just be glad it isn't backwards day. Well, in the Christian calendar, this is Advent. We're in the second Sunday already. And you've already seen the Advent candles and the decorations and the purple colors that are the color of Advent. But the heart of Advent is about preparing our hearts and lives for Jesus. During Advent, we usually read the great Bible prophecies that were fulfilled when Jesus was born, and the great promises that Christ will come again to judge the living and the dead and to redeem all of creation. This is the great news of the Advent calendar. Get ready, because God keeps his promises in Christ Jesus. But lately I've heard more talk about the Mayan calendar than I have about the Advent calendar, especially the end of the Mayan calendar in 2012. You won't find any movies in the theater, Advent 2009, but you will find the movie 2012. That movie is about the supposed end of the world that will take place on December 21st, 2012. Now, if you like disaster movies, 2012 is a good one. A giant tsunami flooding over the mountains, huge earthquakes ripping apart cities. It's quite a spectacle. But don't go canceling your plans for 2013 just yet. The 2012 hysteria is just more of the Y2K type panic. Remember that? Back when we turned to the year 2000 and people were worried that airplanes were going to fall from the air, and they were canceling their airplane flights, and people were stockpiling food. I remember seeing pictures of people opening their trunks and shoveling corn and grain into the back of it as if they would know what to do with it once they got it home. We seem to have this problem with calendars, and especially when they change over. And that's what this 2012 thing is all about. It's the same thing. Only it involves the Mayan calendar. And the Mayan calendar is a little bit different than our calendar, because instead of lasting 365 days, the Mayan calendar lasts 5,125 years before you flip over to a new cycle. Now imagine hanging that thing on your wall. In 2012, this calendar will turn over and start back at the beginning. But like with the year 2000, people read things into these big calendar changes. They claim prophecies of impending doom. A few years ago, the History Channel produced a show that was entitled Mayan Doomsday Prophecy. Well, then the Discovery Channel hopped on the bandwagon and produced 2012 Apocalypse. And even the National Geographic Channel added fuel to the fire with 2012 final prophecy. And of course, now there's the movie. And there is no end to the internet prophets who turn out predictions for 2012. Dr. Wayne Stanton says that his mathematical analysis of the gospel shows him that Jesus was really talking in code about the future. And according to Dr. Stanton, if you decipher this code, you'll find out that there'll be a wonderful rain in southern Asia in 2011. But the bad news is the world will end in 2012 with a nuclear war. Well, not to be outdone, Robert Blast says that there will be a terrible catastrophe in 2012, but it won't be a nuclear war probably. He provides a list of the probable ways that we are going to end, starting with a giant sunspot, the shifting of the magnetic poles, a religious apocalypse, and an alien invasion. Terence McKenna, with the help of psychedelic mushrooms, predicts in his book that the universe will reach, quote, a singularity of infinite complexity in 2012, at which point anything and everything will occur instantaneously. And you thought it was hard to keep up with the pace of things now. Wait till 2012. People all over the world are panicking over 2012. The Mayans didn't, though. In all of their known writing, there's only one place where they actually make any prediction about what might happen in 2012. In an inscription in Tortuguero in Costa Rica, it says that at the end of this calendar cycle, Bolon Yukteku will come. And if you translate that, it means something like the 9 support gods or the 9-dog tree will come. Not exactly the end of the world. So where do all these 2012 prophecies come from? Well, I don't think it's that hard to figure out. But instead of us wasting our times on these questionable predictions for 2012, instead let us spend some time this Advent on the prophecies we know we can count on because they were already fulfilled in Jesus Christ. In those days, says the prophet Jeremiah, 500 years before the birth of Jesus, in those days and at that time, I will make a righteous branch sprout from David's line. He will do what is just and right in the land, and in those days Judah will be saved. And this is the name by which it will be called, the Lord, our righteousness. Even earlier than that, 700 years before Jesus, there was Micah, who wrote, "But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over my people Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." Then there's also Isaiah, again, 700 years